If your embouchure is too tight, it might make the difference between this and this. So why do we have tight embouchure to begin with? Well, maybe your teacher told you to tighten the corner of your lips, pull your lips down, make a smile. There's all sorts of crazy advice out there. Or maybe you're a perfectionist like me and just think if you squeeze harder, try harder, work harder, that the sound will get better. But instead you're just adding a whole bunch of tension there. But the most likely reason that your embouchure is too tight is a lack of air support. That was certainly the problem for me when I was a young student. So step number 1 would be to work on your air support. We often underestimate just how much we need to use all these core muscles in order to support the sound. If you picture your lungs as a giant balloon and somebody's holding the top and just letting a little bit of air out, which is kind of like our embouchure, then what we're doing with our air support is just keeping a constant, steady pressure on those lungs so that the air comes out at a steady speed. The more pressure that you push on that balloon, the faster the air is going to come out. The lighter the pressure, the slower the air is going to come out. So the goal with working on your air support is to just have more control over the speed of your air as you're pressurizing it to make a flute sound. One way to reconnect with how to do it properly is just to say shh really aggressively. So you can put your hand on your stomach and do shh. You're going to notice that your muscles are coming in as you push the air out of your lungs. So that's how we're supporting the sound. When you're doing short notes, it can be more like bursts of air. Shh, 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 shh. Depending what register and how fast you want the air to go, you can do varying levels of that feeling. It can be lighter, shh, 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 shh. From really strong to really weak, but you're still pressurizing the air to a certain degree and using all of these core muscles in and around your diaphragm. So, in order to translate that to the flute, you can pick any note. Shh. And see if that feels stronger. You might have more air than you're even used to having. Okay? For the short notes, shh, shh, shh. Okay, so that's an exercise you can try to just connect with the air support more as you're working on strengthening that air support. If you've been playing with a lot of tension for a long time, you might want to experiment with playing with no tension in your face at all. It can be confusing because it feels like if you try harder or you squeeze harder that you might have more control, but in reality, it's just making everything really rigid and you're losing all your flexibility and control at your lips. More of the control should be coming from down here. So what I tried when I was young and having this problem would be to start with no embouchure at all and see just how much tension it took to create a sound, and then don't go any further with the tension. So it might sound like this. So slowly starting with just no embouchure and then forming an embouchure, but don't go too far. I maybe even did that a little too fast. Take your time. Stopping once you have a nice sound. You can try that on scales, you can try that on arpeggios, you can try that in different registers. So that can help you feel just how little it takes to actually form the sound, and it'll help you just release some of that tension. The final tip I'll give is about time management. This is a problem that's not going to be fixed overnight, not in one practice session, not in an hour, not in 5 minutes. It's going to take time, and so what I would suggest is finding an exercise like the ones I've laid out so far, or any exercise that you're working on, an etude or a method book, and just practice it for a few minutes every day, really focusing on your air support and not having any tension in your face. Over time, you'll translate that into other parts of your practice as well, but having that focused 5 to 10 minutes every time you practice on that one problem will help you solve it much sooner than if you hyper-focus on it for 2 days and then forget about it. So a little bit of time every single day, and then start filtering it into other parts of your practice. So when you pull out your pieces in your repertoire, you can spend 5 or 10 minutes thinking, okay, I'm going to try this section with the shh beforehand or with no embouchure, anything like that, to try and reconnect with what it feels like to do it properly. In the end, the results will be more flexibility in your sound, a nicer sound overall, more control over your sound dynamics, and even the option to use different tone colors. You're not stuck with whatever sound is just coming out of your flute that day. You can do any register that you want and you'll feel relaxed, in control, and you can choose how you'd like to sound. If you found this video helpful, then of course subscribe to our YouTube channel, but you can also find us on School in our free flute community called Fundamentally Flute. The link is in the description. You can join us no matter what level you're at. We work on flute fundamentals, mental skills, and practice structure.